Hi viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am making videos on Java programming language and frameworks. Please do subscribe, like and share for more videos. And please support us. Thank you.
Next, iteration statements. So, iteration statements here we can call these statements are also called as looping statements. If you want to execute a set of statements repeatedly, for example, I have a requirement called I want to print I value is 1. I want to print I value 1 to 10. How many times I have to print these statements? 10 times. At least we'll take 5. Okay. I want to print those statements as I value is 2, 3, I value is 4, I value is 5. I want to print like this. My value is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times the same statement we have to write like this. What if I want to print the same statement 100 times? So the simple solution is we should not print the same statement for the 100 times, right? So whenever we need a set of statements to execute, you want to execute those statements repeatedly for certain times, or based on some condition, you want to execute set of statements repeatedly, then you can go for looping statements. So that we can if you see the same program here, we can use the while loop. Let me show you the while syntax here. This is the syntax. While is a keyword. While followed by a condition, and next set of statements, whatever statements you want to execute repeatedly, those statements keep it under the while block. When these statements are gets executed means once first the controller executes this condition. When this if this condition returns true, then only this set of statements will get executed. And next, once this condition returns false, it come out from the entire loop. If you observe here, instead of writing the same statement repeatedly, you can write simple statement, single statement. Which one you want to repeatedly execute this statement, right? Just flip it here. And next, how many times you want to execute? 5 times. First, assign the value before starting the while loop. Controller comes to the condition first. If this condition, now currently I value is 1, right? Next, what will happen? Now coming to I value is 1, I less than or equal to 5, the condition returns false. Then enter into this while loop, and this statement is getting executed here. And why here I plus plus means if we don't increment any I value and whatever the variable value you are using here, you must either increment or decrement it. If you don't do that, this while loop will get execute infinite times and it won't break also. So that you want it only and also you need I value next in the iteration I value as a 2, right? So now currently I value is 1. Now how it will get become 2 means we need to add it by 1. So I'm using here I plus plus. These two statements are after completing these 2 statements of execution. Again, the controller will go to this condition. Now I value become 2. 2 less than or equal to 5. This statement will print here. And next, I plus plus means 3. Again, the controller comes here. The condition again 2. Like this until which value? 6 value. When the I value becomes 6, the condition returning false, right? Then the execution of while statements will get stopped here. It will not enter into the while block. So these are the first statements. Let me comment it. Yeah, like this value. And next we'll go to the do while. Next statement. This is also similar to while. First see the syntax here. Do followed by a block. And next while followed by a condition. The controller directly enters into the do while loop without checking any condition. After one-time execution is automatically will happen because there is no condition check. It will directly enters into the do while loop, and next followed by a condition. After one-time execution, it will check the condition. If the condition returns true again, then only it will go to the again do while loop. Otherwise, it will quit from the do while loop. If you see here, do while, do followed by a j value I want to print. I assigned the j value as 1 here. J value. And next, what my requirement is like same. I is equal to 1, I is equal to 2, right? Next, j is equal to 1, j is equal to 2. So I want increment operator here. J plus plus. And next, then only it will check the condition. So first, these two statements will get executed. After that, condition will check here. When the j value becomes 6, it will not execute, right? So here j value becomes 6, right? The condition is failing here. Then it will not again go back to do value. So it will quit from the do value. When you observe this, the difference of a while and do while is in the while loop, the condition first it will check the condition, then only it will enter into the while loop. Here, for the first time, the controller will enter into the do loop first. The execution of statements is the compulsory one time. Next, condition will get checked here. If the condition the condition is failing for the first time, one time execution is also not happened here in the while loop. Okay. But here, if j is equal to 6, for example, if I give j is equal to 6, what will happen? J value is 6 is printing because without any condition check, it is entering into the do loop, and next, then only it is executing here. If you give I value is 6, see the difference. I is equal to 6, j is equal to 6. I less than or equal to 5 for the while loop. j less than or equal to 5 for the do while loop. What is the expected output? This is do while loop. Only do while value j is coming. Because why? Because I value is 6 here. Condition is failing for the first attempt only. It is not executing. But in the do while, first the set of statements are executed once, and next condition is checking here. That means set of statements already executed. That's why it is printing. Then only it is checking j less than or equal to 5. So this is the difference. And next, what is the next statement here? For loop. So in this for loop, this is a syntax here. For loop followed by a 3 statements. One is initialization. Second one is a Boolean expression, means conditions we can write here. Why? Because Boolean expression means the condition always returns either true or false. So those expressions are called Boolean expressions. And next update statement, either it might be increment or decrement of the given variable. If you initialization, this statement is executes only one time, and the Boolean expression and update for the first attempt, initialization statement will get execute, and next Boolean expression, if it returns true, then enters into the loop. Once this entire body of these statements execution is completed, then it will go to the update statement. The controller will come to here, not from the initialization. Instead of executing initialization, it is directly going to the update statement for the second time. Let me explain. In k is equal to 1, k less than or equal to 10, k plus plus. So initialization, here only you can initialize the value. Instead of before starting while loop and do while, we have initialized like this, right? Instead of that, whenever the for loop is started, within the for loop condition, you can the initialization is possible here. This is the first statement. When you see the syntax, initialization, next a Boolean expression, k less than or equal to 10. This is my condition. Here, my intention is I want to print the k value 1 to 10. 10 lines I want to print. And next, what is the third statement? Update statement. Here, k plus plus or whatever, increment or decrement, post increment, pre decrement, anything you can write, depends on your requirement. For the controller comes to the for loop. First, this statement gets executed. Initialization is done, and next it will go to the k less than or equal to 10. Here the condition is returning true. Then immediately enters into the for loop. The set of statements are executed here, and next the controller will go to the k plus plus. This is second iteration, not the first iteration, second iteration. K plus plus. Then k value becomes 2 here. Then from here to k less than or equal to 10. Because every time it needs to check whether the condition is returning true or false. Here k is equal to 2, k less than or equal to 10 or k less than or equal to 10. It is checking here. So 2 less than or equal to 10. It is true. Then enters into the loop. And next, again the controller will go to the k plus plus. K is equal to, now becomes, it becomes 3. 3 less than or equal to 10. Again, it will execute. So, for let's say k is equal to 11. Now k is equal to 11, k less than or equal to 10. So, the condition is returning false. It won't execute. It is printing 1 to 10 numbers. You always need to remember, like initialization. This statement will execute only one time for the first iteration, and next this is also execute for the first iteration, and it will execute the statements. In the second, from the second iteration, this update statement will get execute, and next it will go to the condition. This is how the for loops are working. For example, I have a requirement like 1, 2, 3. In this case, single for loop is not, it's not working. It won't work, okay? So, at this time of requirements, you need to go for nested for loops. Nested loops means inside for loop, again we can start over the another for loop. That is called nested for loops. There is a program here. This is my requirement. If you observe here, how many rows are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 are there. And columns, it depends on row. First row, first column, only 1. Second row means 2 columns are coming. Third row means 3 columns are coming. So there is some logic between first loop and second loop. Based on that logic, we need to write the our code. And next for the fourth row, 4 columns are coming. So like this way, you just split the logic and you can start writing the loop. So what we will do here, for rows, we need one for loop. For row loop, okay? One for loop. For rows. And what will happen is some columns also for every time the execution starts here, right? 1. And next again second row means again it starts from 1 and 2. Again it looks like a looping 1, 2, 3. Again fourth row 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So for columns, another loop. So what we have to decide here, what is the main loop and what is the like a second loop inside of the main loop. Okay. So first column wise it is going, it is not repeating 1, 2, the third row and fourth row. So we can say row loop as the main loop. Okay. And next, if you observe the second row again starts from 1, 2. Means 2 times it is executing. 3 times, third row 3 times it is executing. Fourth row means again 4 times it is executing. So every column starts with again 1. That means inner loop. We can say it's a second loop. Second loop we can keep. Second loop inside of the main loop. This is how you need to split the logic. Then only you can start writing the code. Otherwise, nested loops are a bit confused. Now we'll go to the main loop. Okay. If you observe here, we want from the let me write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I want this value from 1, not from 0. So m is equal to 1 I have given. My condition is until how many times? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 rows are there, right? 4 times only. So I can say m less than 5 also fine, or m less than or equal to 4 is fine. Okay, and next this is 1. And why the second loop starts with m is equal to 1? If you observe, every column starts with 1, 1, 2. Again 1, 2, 3. Depends on the row number. The column names are forming here. Depends on the row number. Column numbers are forming. For the fourth row, 4 columns are coming. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means second for loop is depends on the first loop of the row value. Here, just example, this is the row. Okay. M is row here. M, it depends on the m value. M value 1 means only column also only executing 1 time. So it depends on m value. Second loop is depends on the first loop variable value. That's why n less than or equal to m I have given. N is equal to 1 because we clearly say that every row is starting, column is starting with 1 only. N is equal to 1 I have given. N less than or equal to m. Here you need to understand the main logic. Okay. Here m is equal to 1 and n is equal to 1. And next n plus I'm printing n, and next giving space. Just I want to give some space between 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 3, 4. Okay. And how to go to the next line? Because we need to give one single line statement after completing the second loop execution. When observe one row is completed, then next line is starting. Everything you have to write it in the code form. So for that, once the for loop is, the second for loop execution is completed, I have given the single ln statement, print ln statement. If you observe in the second for loop, I have given only print statement. I want to, because there is a requirement like in the same line, I want to print 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's why we need to give in the print statement only. Let me execute this first and let me explain the execution. If you see here, 1 is there. So m is equal to 1, n is equal to 1. So it is printing n is equal to 1. And in the second line, 2 times I have to execute. That time m becomes 2. M becomes 2. Yeah. Once the set of statements are executed, m is going to be increment here. Now m becomes 2. M less than or equal to 5, it is true. M is equal to 2. Here n less than or equal to m. Here m means 2. How many times these inner for loop will get executes here? Depends on m number. That is 2 times. These statements will get execute 2 times. N starts with 1 and 2 times, right? 1 and 2 will print. So that's why in the second line 1 and 2 is printing here. And next, and I have to go to the next line. So after completing the second for loop execution, give the println statement. Next, once this is completed, it will, the controller will go to the m plus plus. That means m is equal to 3 now. M less than or equal to 5. Yes. Again, the second for loop starts from int n is equal to 1, n less than or equal to m. Here m becomes 3. Now, can you expect how many times this second for loop will get executed? 3 times. Because for the third row, we need 3 times execution. Like that, we need to split the for loop, how many times second for loop should execute depends on, in our case, it depends on the main for loop. That's why I have given m less than or equal to n. In that way, you can write like many formats like 1, 1, 1. Okay. This is called nested for loops. You can try this program offline. So just assume that for the first line, 1 is printing 1 time, 2 is printing 2 times, 3 is printing 3 times, 4 is printing 4 times, like that. Okay, so first you have to understand the logic. This is also same as the 2 loops we are going to have. Okay, you just try yourself. 1 first loop, and next second loop, it depends on the same value, but the printing value here is I value, not the first for loop value, not the second loop value. In our case, the second loop value we are printing. Simple program, just we are printing. See here 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. Like this way, you have to divide the logic. Next, the last statements are here, branching statements. Continue, break, and return. So continue here, these branching statements we are using under the loops only. The mainly branching statements which are used to jump the flow of execution from one part to another part. In that time we can use these statements: continue, break, and return. I will tell you. First, we'll go to the continue statement. Yeah, say simple for loop I have taken. It is going to print count less than or equal 10 times. And just let me exhibit this first. Break statement also executing. One to 10 is printing. So my intention is I want to skip the execution of whenever the even number is coming. I don't want to execute the first statement of a set of statements. Okay. So what will happen? Continue statements. Whenever the continue statements is executed, which means it is telling to the control like it is skipping the next statements of the for loop. It will not execute the remaining statements for the particular iteration. It will not execute. It will just continue into the update statement. Let me explain it here. What will happen? When the count is equal to 1, here the condition is failing, right? Normally the flow will work. Like the set of statements of for loop will get executed here. I don't want to print the odd numbers. That time I want to just skip the set of statements. Whenever the even number is coming, count modulus 2 is equal to 0, 0, you just give a continue here. When the continue is executed, the next statements are not going to be executed for that particular iteration. If you observe the output here, whenever it is even number, right? It is not printing. Means this line of the statement is not executing for that particular iteration because continue is there. This is called continue. If you want to skip the set of statements for a particular iteration, you can go for continue statement. And here I have a requirement. I want to if any condition comes, you want to quit from the entire loop. That case, you can go for break. Whenever I is equal to 5, I don't want to continue the set of statements. I don't want to execute this set of statements once 5 is coming. If you observe, our expectation is this loop will execute 10 times. So 10 will print like that, right? But if you observe, until 4 only it is coming. Why? I is equal to 5. The condition is returning true. Then break statement is executing. Then it will quit from the entire for loop and the controller will come here. After break, okay. This is, see, the entire loop is when I is equal to 5, the break statement is executing here. Then it will quit from the for loop. After for loop, whatever the statements are there, it will execute as usual, line by line statements. So that's why we are calling these are jumping statements, continue, break, and return. It will jump from one part to another part, like it will jump the flow of execution from one part to another part of a program. And the last branching statements are here, return statement. Return statement usually we are using in whenever we are calling a method, we are returning some value, right? And those return statements also we can write it here. Now I will show you the simple program. In later programs, we can discuss on the return statements in the loops. Now I am taking the program here. Public static void main into some here I'm taking the static method. I'm not creating any objects here because we have not started the loops construct. So I'm taking just a static method like a main method. Static method I have taken. We can discuss in detail these static methods in the further sessions. So if you see int sum is equal to sum of 10, 20 here, it is a static method. So I am calling the method directly without any object creation. So here 2 parameters are there. Just understand the just method. So Here some method will call here, and next return a plus b. This is the return. So we are returning some value. This is return type int. Okay, you can understand this methods and all in the further sessions. What is method? What is return type? What is return statement? We can discuss in detail. So whenever we are calling the sum method, the controller enters into the sum method and the set of statements will get executed. Here return is there. Wherever we are calling, it is returning to there. So the return value 10 plus 20, 30 value is stored into the sum value. We can use this return statement. Sum is 30.